Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, First Presbyterian Church, Murfreesboro. This is your sermon preview for worship on Sunday, May 11th, 2025, Mother's Day. But that's not the only thing happening on Sunday, May 11th, Mother's Day. We are also recognizing our class of 2025, our high school seniors, of which my oldest daughter, Scout, is one. Crazy. And then also, it's Covenant Sunday, where we're recognizing our confirmation students, the 8th graders who are beginning that journey, and the 11th grade students who are making a profession of faith and being confirmed. And so we are very, very excited about the events of this coming Sunday. It is a full day and a wonderful occasion, and hope that we see everybody there. A little bit of a spoiler for those of you who were at Senior Sunday last year. Now, typically, Senior Sunday and Covenant Sunday are separated. We don't do them on the same day. But this year is a little bit different. And there's lots of reasons for that. Easter was really late. It pushed our church retreat back. It bumped us up against the end of the school year. And so we were kind of just having to do things this way. Plus, next weekend, I fly to Grand Rapids to graduate, to walk across the stage and graduate with the doctorate. Very exciting. And thank you, everybody, for all of your love and your support through all of that. Anyways, if you were here at Senior Sunday last year, you'll remember that I kind of had some props when we presented these things to the seniors during the sermon. And I'm doing that again. I've rewritten the sermon, but it might look familiar to some of you. We're going to be looking at 2 Timothy chapter 1, verses 2 through 10, and Paul's relationship with Timothy, and sort of the things that Timothy knew as he was heading off into his missionary journeys and doing the work that he was called to do and facing the challenges he faced, all these things. The things that Timothy knew he was bringing with him into these experiences and into this work. And we can draw some pretty cool parallels between Timothy and our high school students. And this message applies not only to our seniors who are graduating, but also our confirmation students, and really to us. And so I hope this is a hopeful and encouraging message to all of us. But it's also pretty loaded with stuff that I'm hoping our seniors are paying attention to, and at the same time, loaded with messages for us as a church. As we're promising them that these are the things that they're going to be bringing with them as they head off into next. That puts a responsibility on us as a church to live into those promises. This is no time for us as a church to withdraw from their lives or to wish them all the best and let them go forever. You know, this is a time in our students' lives where it's important that they feel us as a church leaning into them. And later this summer, when they head off into what's next, we need to double down on our efforts of reaching out to them, making contact, staying connected. I say all the time that in my opinion, there are two very, very sensitive and important times in young people's lives. And the whole time, it's all important, blah, blah, blah. But that middle school age, 11 to 15, developmentally critical. We need to be so careful with our children when they're about 11 to 15 years old, with the things that we allow to go into their minds, into their hearts. We need to protect them, but then also expose them, give them certain freedoms. I mean, it's a very fragile time, middle school. That's one. And the other one is this post-high school. I'd say about 18 to at least 22, 23 years old. This is another very important time. And in the past, this would be when people say, hey, you did it, congratulations, you're on your own, head off, figure it out, you're gonna do great, all that. And that's good, okay, whatever. But we also know how important it is for students 18 to 22, 23 years old to feel supported by the community that raised them and nurtured them, not to feel abandoned. Walking the tightrope out of high school into what's next is fun and it's exciting and all these things. But it's can be scary, and the sermon's not focusing on negative things like that, and I don't mean to make this sound negative, but I think it's important for us to recognize that this chapter, this 18 to 22, this post-high school chapter, is an important one, and it's one that the church takes very seriously, and our students are going to feel us stay connected to them as they move on. And so that means that we're going to reach out to them. We're going to stay connected with them. And if you're thinking, well, I know these kids, but I never really reach out to them. I know they have confirmation mentors, and I know that there's some volunteers and people that connect with them, and so. But I've never done that. Well, now maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to start making contact and building those connections and staying in touch and reaching out. That when you see college students come back home to visit, you'll notice that the people of this church flock to them. Why do you think that is? Do you think that's not an accident? It's because we know how important it is to pour into these kids. And this is the sweetest thing of all, and one of the things I love about our church, people are genuinely happy and excited when these students visit home or come back into the church. And they know that. It means a lot to them. And so all of those kind of tones are in our sermon for this Sunday. And then I do need to mention, we're continuing in this sermon series of looking at the anthems that are Jocelyn's favorites as we're getting closer to saying goodbye to Jocelyn, our director of music. And this Sunday There is a Wideness in God's Mercy. And the lyrics of this hymn fit great. They fit very well with what we're talking about, looking at 2 Timothy and what we're talking about with our students and our confirmation students. It all fits beautifully into everything. And so be ready to worship. Looking forward to seeing everyone this coming Sunday morning, 8:30, 11 a.m. worship. Grace and peace. We'll see you then.